the park. It's a great day for a business taco.
Welcome to Business Taco, the only show with tips you can learn in the time it takes to eat a taco. Or perhaps a burrito.
Business Taco!
All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about keywords. This one is not so much a question, more validation of something we've been teaching and something you guys should be asking about for sure. This is an email that came from one of our YouTube subscribers. He says, I watched your video more than once about using Google suggestions to pick keywords. I've also been getting emails about Longtail Pro. Even though you advised against a keyword tool, I bought anyway.
Oh, makes me want to talk with my mouth open.
And then all caps with an exclamation point, he says, mistake. You were right. And then he goes on to talk about how he's been in the same industry for over 2 decades. He's been there for a long time. He's had his own business for over 2 decades as well. And he says, I just wanted a little assurance that I was targeting the right keywords and thought I would give the tool a try. I looked up some common phrases and was surprised when some of the results showed maybe 30 searches per month. I knew there was no way it was true with the amount of business there is in my industry. Needless to say, good advice, keep up the good work. Then he says, by the way, I asked for and received an immediate refund. This is just something that we've harped on a little bit in the past, and I just want to make it really, really clear. There is not a keyword tool out there that's going to accurately tell you the search volume of any search phrase.
Not
it
even
doesn't exist.
semi-accurately. Not even like
close.
kind of sort of roundabout.
And people have asked many times, how do you know that for sure? We've shown that from the data that we've seen on our sites of topics we've written or articles we've written on topics that get really low search volumes.
An example of it. We just looked at this last week. We looked at dirt bike height.
Yeah.
Like somebody's buying a dirt bike, they're not sure how tall it should be. And Keywords Everywhere says that it was getting a search volume of like 0.
It was basically 0.
Some of them said like 10, depending on how you kind of change the search phrase. Well, we actually rank for that. Not number 1,
no,
number 2. And we're getting 4,000 page views a month from that keyword. So because we're not using keyword tools, we find keywords like that all the time that everybody else is skipping over. It's like, yeah, keep using keyword tools. It's just benefits us.
So again, that's just a little bit more validation from somebody else who's been in an industry for a very long time. He's familiar with the industry and he's with us 100%. It's wrong. There's just no way that those search volumes are accurate.
Yeah, the thing is, if you think about it practically, you can know that it's not going to be possible because, I mean, out of the entire planet, Googling millions of terms every day, only 4,000 of them search this. And so who could have that data to know? Other than Google, maybe kind of Bing, no one can know that unless they have like a bug on everyone's browser to be able to do that. They're guessing the best they can from the maybe tens of thousands, which is like a tiny drop in the ocean of the total number of people that they get data from. But it's just not a knowable number unless you're Google, and Google does not give it out. Lest you think that the Google Keyword Planner is a solution to that, it's just really not. In fact, we see worse numbers from it than just about anything else. And the reason is not just that Google is trying to put us, send us off the wrong trail, but because the Google Keyword Planner is for advertisers. The purpose of it is to guess how many ad impressions there will be in this search volume. So commercial intent kind of searches are going to show a much higher search volume number that they give you than anything else. And so you're just going to get wrong data.
Yep.
So that's why keyword tools, it's just why we just don't use them. Everybody wants some kind of validation when you're looking to just guess. And what we have learned is just go with your gut. If it seems like a reasonable question that you could see people searching, just write it. It only takes an hour or 2 to write the post. And it just works. It works over and over again. All right, Matthew Rhodes asks us about the golden keyword ratio and if it actually works. Okay, so we've mentioned this multiple times in the past. The golden keyword ratio will not help you to find good keywords. In fact, it will give you a wrong answer most of the time. And the reason we say that is not just opinion. what we did is we looked through dozens and dozens of our best long tail keywords that we found very low competition on. And we ran the numbers, the actual numbers, after we got the traffic and ranked to see what the search volume was. And we saw, man, this was a very successful post. Then we put it through the KGR formula, and the KGR would have told us, do not write that post.
We're not even talking about, they're shooting for a below 0.25. We're not even talking about ones that were like 0.5, maybe under 1. We had top posts that are like a 3 or a 4 or higher.
5, 7.
Yep.
The post
not even close.
Was able to rank very quickly and did excellently. And the KGR would have told us not to write it. Honestly, we put it through dozens of our own keywords, and at the end of it, we said, this isn't even like a ballpark estimate, because I get it. If it's just a ballpark estimate and it's not the end-all be-all, that's fine. It still has value. But even at that, there was just like no correlation between the KGR and what actually happened. And one major reason is the KGR is relying on an exact match keyword phrase. And that hasn't been necessary since like 2005. That's the old way of doing SEO, where if I want to rank for best camera tripod, then I have to have the phrase best camera tripod if I want any hope of ranking. And now, Google is perfectly capable of knowing, best photography support device. It's going to know. That's probably a horrible example. But you know what I mean? Not having the exact keyword phrase is perfectly fine. It knows the difference. WordPress course and WordPress class, they're looking for the same thing. And so it's going to show you the results for class even if they searched course. Exact match keyword is just not a good way of displaying that.
Well, and it also relies on accurate search volumes, which we just talked about. You just can't get. And our other issue is, even if you were able to get accurate numbers, even if all entitled search results mattered, and even if you could get actual search volumes, this whole method completely ignores the quality of the content you're competing against. If you're competing against...
Number one ranking factor, it ignores.
Absolutely.
So you could have, let's say you only had 5 exact match keywords there. The KGR says, oh, you're only competing against 5. Great, go write it. Well, what if those top 5 articles are from really authoritative sites that have big, beefy, massive articles on it? You don't stand a chance at ranking.
Even if you rank number 7 because you're only competing against 5, you're not going to get traffic.
Right.
Who cares if you're on the first page of Google if you show up at the bottom and the top ones above it get all the traffic?
Pretty rare that somebody clicks on a number 10 search result. So that's why we don't use it. Even as kind of a sort of ballparking estimate, it just wasn't. I mean, like, statistically, it did not work when we looked through it. Thanks for joining us in this episode of Business Taco. When you're ready to get started with your website, go to incomeschool.com/project24. That's our complete courses. There are a whole bunch of courses all in there. You'll get to be in our mobilized community where people are asking questions and we're in there answering it, giving feedback all the time, all the courses, the exact step-by-step how to create your site. Everything's there. incomeschool.com/project24.